All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. I'm excited to introduce Jennifer Anno. She's actually my long lost best friend from elementary school. When I moved to Cincinnati in third grade, we were basically inseparable and had sleepovers at her house or my house almost every weekend, invariably involving watching Love Boat and Fantasy Island, the back-to-back on Saturday, and that was our tradition. And then in high school, we lost contact. And about 30 years after high school, we found each other on Facebook. And we reconnected and shared our life stories, where we'd been since middle school, and reminisced about some memories. And by the time we reconnected, I had become a health coach and had added Shaklee products as an extra layer of service to my practice. And Jennifer was struggling with her health, and she'll tell you more about that. And if memory serves me, also at the time that we reconnected and she found me on Facebook, I posted daily, maybe twice daily, about nutrition. And Jennifer, being the joker that she is, would applaud me when I didn't post about nutrition. So if you're looking for some changes for yourself, I really hope you find Jennifer's story memorable and a source of inspiration. Her journey really proves that nutrition can heal it. Your body can heal itself with optimal nutrition. And her story is what I really love about Shaklee. This is a business about making people's lives better and improving their lives. Jennifer is a living and breathing example of how we can make a difference with our expertise, our knowledge, and also the power of our products. So Jen, take it away.
All right. Well, I want to just start by thanking Jennifer and Joanne for this opportunity. Part of my nature is to overshare. Those of you that know me know once I get going, I don't stop. And so it's important to me to share this, and you'll see why as we go through. But I am a teacher. But I am not a huge PowerPoint fan, but I made a very short 2-slide PowerPoint, one with my very cute title that I came up with for this. So there's an old me, there's a new me, and those, I didn't get rid of the old me. I didn't only embrace the new me. I put both of those together and just made a better version of myself, and Shaklee upped that even further than I could hope. And then the other, why is this not it? There we go. So I've got a before and an after in here. I have 2 things to say about my before picture. The first one is, who the hell told me that shirt was a good idea? That is just, that shirt is god awful. The man next to me, who is the father of my children, bought that shirt for me. It's not the reason we got divorced, but it's there. So we'll just leave that at that. So that is me in 2013. The picture on the right is 2019. That is myself and the 2 greatest things that I've ever done in the world. Those are my children. With the polka dotted shirt, because I can't even go with directions. The polka dotted sweatshirt, that is my older son, Patrick. He is 23. And with the Game of Thrones t-shirt is my younger son, Jimmy, who is 21. And they're the best things I've ever done. They're what everybody feels about their children. But that is my 50th birthday. And the difference, the before picture, my weight was 224. And the after picture, my weight is 156. So almost 75 pounds, and over 6 years, a little longer than 6 years actually, but enough about that. So I guess I want to go really quickly into the before and get to the during and the after. Before 2013, I had a very happy childhood in the absolutely fabulous state of Ohio, which is a better state than Michigan in pretty much every possible way. I had a great childhood. I had great friends like Jennifer. I never was taught a whole lot about healthy eating. That is why Jennifer and I typically spent the night at my house and not her house, because my house had better food, more pets, and I had a TV in my bedroom so we could watch Love Boat and Fantasy Island because we were in 4th grade and we had mad priorities. My career, I'm a special ed lifer. I was, before 2013, I was an assistant director of special ed in Michigan City, Indiana. At the time, I was very happily married. I have 2 fantastic kids, and I was living the dream of a sedentary lifestyle, serving my family delicious meals like tater tot casserole on a regular basis, and just, you know, and if you want the tater tot casserole recipe, you can't have it. Okay, so in 2013, a lot of things happened. Like I said, I was the assistant director of special ed, and a wonderful young lady that taught for the school that I was working at. She was our autism teacher, and she was killed in a car accident on a day when we should have had a snow day. She had some very good friends in the town that I lived in, and her death was beyond tragic, and she died in 2008. And in 2013, we had a 5K in her memory, and my 224-pound body walked that 5K, crushed it in 90 minutes, lumbering the hills of New Buffalo, Michigan. And that is when, that 5K is when, for me, everything changed. After the 5K, I, you know, celebrated my awesome, you know, fitness walk of 90 minutes for 3 miles, and went to a local restaurant that's very famous for its hamburgers, and kept taking off my glasses to clean them because I had this spot in my vision. And finally, after cleaning my glasses about 80 times, I was like, God, it's still there. When I take off my glasses, I could still see it. So I called my eye doctor, and what had happened, very long story short, during my walk, one of the blood vessels in my eyes, my blood pressure spiked because I was exerting myself like I haven't in way too long. My blood pressure spiked, one of the blood vessels in my eyes kinked like a garden hose and dripped blood inside my eye, and that was the black spot that I was seeing. And at the time, I was 43 years old, and she said, "You are way too young to be having these kinds of circulatory problems. You need to go to a cardiologist." And I got diagnosed with sorry, I forget what the eye thing is called. More importantly, I got diagnosed with very early onset of carotid artery disease. I have a leaky heart valve, and I have a heart murmur. And prior to this, I had never had any of these diagnoses before, and was told by my cardiologist that it was really incredible that my blood vessel that spasmed was in my eye, and that I could see the results literally of that and have this spot in my eye, because otherwise carotid artery disease goes undiagnosed until you have a stroke. And so that to me was terrifying. I had 2 kids and a husband that was very, and still is to this day, very married to his job. And and I was the primary parent, the primary caregiver for my kids, and it terrified me. So I started freaking out in the doctor's office and asked the doctor what I should do. And her answer, she's a very cut and dry woman, wonderful cardiologist. She has the personality of Darth Vader. And she said, "You need to change everything. Absolutely everything. Nothing you're doing is can be the same. Change it all." So I did. I started eating differently. I didn't necessarily start eating great right away. At the beginning, it was just less ice cream in the evening, less potato chips, less cheeseburgers, less fries, and I started walking. For a long time, that worked. Fast forward to 2016, I was down about 15 to 20 pounds, And life threw me another curveball, and I ended up getting divorced. It was the world's most amicable divorce ever. We just decided to, well, that's not the point. Anyway, the point is my life focus changed from a lot of things outside to a lot of things inside. And I had to start looking at myself. My kids were graduating. They were moving out of the house. They were heading off to school. And suddenly it was me and my health and my fitness and my life. And my whole life focus really started to take a turn. So in 2017, I met, I never know what to call him. I'm 51 years old and I have a boyfriend. So I guess I met my boyfriend. He's my partner. He's awesome. For those of you who've had the joy of meeting him, his name is Ed. He is wonderful. And I actually met him, my walking turned into running, and my running was tremendous therapy. And I started running for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and I met Ed because he also runs for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And we started doing just running groups together. And so he really helped my running a lot. And like Jennifer shared, in 2017, I found her on the internet, and not to out Jennifer too much, but when Jennifer and I were children, we ate junk food like crazy. I was the skinny one and Jennifer was not. And I saw her on Facebook, and I mean, if you look at her, she's gorgeous. Suddenly this amazingly beautiful, slender, toned, together woman with her doctorate, even if it is from the University of Michigan, woman with her doctorate that I've known since she was 8. I was like, oh my gosh, look at her. What did she do? I mean, it was a transformation. And I thought to myself, I want what she has. Even though at the time she was in Japan and a nuclear plant was melting down and she was having earthquakes every day, I still wanted what she had. I was like, how did she do that? So I started talking to her, and she started just sharing her knowledge. And, I would probably drove her crazy because I would send her recipes that I found that I thought, I think this is healthy because it has the word light in it, or it has, I don't know, coconut milk in it and not whole milk. So surely it's healthy, right? So I would send her recipes and I'm like, what do we think about this? And what do we think about this? And what do we think about this? And she started sharing back and giving me a lot of knowledge. And she shared Shaklee with me. And I was like, well, if she did it and she looks like that, then I think I'll do it too. And I used the Life Shakes and the VitaStrip, and walked around with my super cute Harry Potter blender bottle, going, look at me, I'm healthy, I'm walking, drinking this shake, yay me. And it worked. I kept losing weight, and in January of 2018, I ran my first half marathon, and then about 2 weeks after that half marathon, I had a full hysterectomy and a bladder sling put in, and you can't really run after that. And so I stopped, and I also stopped Shaklee for a little while. I told Jennifer, I was like, I need to step away. I need to, just recover. And I think in hindsight, I wasn't really ready to take things to the next step. But then I was down like 20, 30 pounds. I would go to the high school to walk, and Jeannie would say, oh my gosh, you look fantastic. And I was like, yay, thanks. I look fantastic. And, and I was really stuck at the weight that I was at. Even though I looked good, I was stuck, and I was not seeing any more results, and I was getting frustrated, and my health was getting better, but not fantastic. And I was just kind of like, okay, maybe this is the best I can do. Maybe this is, this is as good as I can get it in my late 40s. And I kind of just, I was frustrated, but I was like, well, maybe that's it. And I think that is a huge point that a lot of us reach, that we see some results and we go, okay, well, look at that, that worked. And then I started gaining weight back. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, I worked way too hard. I did so much to get to where I'm at. I don't want it back. And, prior to this time, I ate grapefruits for a week. I drank Diet Sprite. I did all these goofy other things to try and lose weight. It was never a whole approach. And so, and I had struggled through a lot. I had worked through a lot, and I was starting to really, as my middle schoolers say, I was starting to really feel myself. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty great. And look at me overcoming all these things and living my life and, being all about me and look at all of this. I can't stop now. I was like, okay, well, what was I doing before that really helped? And so I called Jennifer back and said, hey, I'm back and I need more. I need something else because, what I was doing before was working, but it kind of stopped. And what do I do? And so poor Matt Garner, who's on this call, he and I co-taught together, and Jennifer hooked me up with the first Prove It Challenge. And the reason I say poor Matt Garner is a Prove It Challenge is a lot. It's a lot to take on. It's 30 days and it's just a huge undertaking. I did my first Prove It Challenge and I feel like I did a great job at that. I didn't cheat. I was extremely stringent. I sent Jennifer food journals every day and I was like, here's what I did. Here's my 3, 3, and 3. Here's, all of these things. And in my first Prove It Challenge, I lost 17 pounds in 30 days. And it was intense. And it was when I got on, I didn't weigh myself the whole 30 days. And when I got on that scale after the 30 days, that was, probably one of the top 15 feelings that I've had in my life. I mean, getting married, having kids, getting my braces off, there's all those things. But that 17-pound drop, I was like, oh my gosh, I really still can do more. I can make a better version of myself. So I really got a lot going. And I went to in New Buffalo, Michigan, they have a wonderful 4th of July celebration where a symphony plays and there's music along with the fireworks. And one of my closest friends, who was my and Jeannie's daughter's band director, was conducting in this symphony. And so I went to dinner with her and her parents before the symphony, and I was really excited. And we were sitting there at dinner, and I lost consciousness at Brewster's in New Buffalo and ended up going to the emergency room. And Ed got me there, and I woke up. And when I got to the emergency room, they're like, well, why did this happen? And I'm like, I don't know. I am doing everything right now. I am in the best shape of my life. I eat wonderfully. I was almost totally plant-based in my eating. Everything was great. And what happened was one of my medications that I take for my carotid artery disease, I turned my health around, and I didn't know, but I turned my health around so much that medication didn't have anything left to do in my body. So it started eating the potassium in my body. And your potassium is pretty much the gasoline that keeps your heart going. So what had happened was my blood pressure had plummeted at dinner. I lost consciousness, and your potassium is supposed to be between 4 and 5, and mine was 1.8. And at 1.5, you die. So it was terrifying. And I was just like, oh, but the thing that was hilarious was the cardiologist that was working with me was going, I can't believe you changed your body this much. And I can't believe that you got rid of so much gunk in your arteries that your medication that's supposed to be helping you is now eating your potassium up. And he's like, this just doesn't happen. And, this isn't, you need to go back and get a whole new workup. And so he took me off that medication, reduced all of the other medications, and I ran another half marathon after that. So that, I feel like that part of my story is really important because all of our all of us have that. Nobody comes to Shaklee with saying, I'm in great shape, my health is fabulous, but I just think I'm going to do this. Everybody has a reason for wanting to lose weight or get healthy or live differently or whatever it is that they want to do. Everybody has a story. And I think it's important that those stories get heard and recognized, and then they can become the part of our story that we celebrate. And the part that I'm so proud to tell that, because I defied medicine and, almost died doing it, but yay me. And it was just really, it was a huge eye opener. And now, the difference now for me is, now I go to a doctor down here in Arizona. I switched from Northwestern, which is one of the few things that I miss about living there, but it is one. There are others, but Northwestern was tremendous. And so I came to the doctor here and I kind of gave her my whole medical history and my chart from Northwestern. And she read through everything and she just looked at me and she said, I feel like I should just throw this in the garbage. And I was like, what? No, don't. And she said, we need to start over. You are a completely different person than you were when these medical problems started. She said, you've lost almost 75 pounds. Your blood work she said, if someone handed me your blood work now, she said, I wouldn't even diagnose you with carotid artery disease. And it never goes away, but she's like, you have practically reversed every sign of, she's like, your valve isn't leaking like it used to leak. You have no symptoms of carotid artery disease. She's like, you still have a heart murmur. She goes, but you've probably had that since you were born and nobody just ever listened for it before. She said, so we need to start over. We need to totally redo all of your cardiology work. We need to redo your medications. We need to redo everything. And the other thing, and I mean, that's all awesome, and I don't mean to downplay that, but the bigger change that I see is when I look at myself, I love what I see now. I've never been somebody who I've never been shy. I've never been quiet. I've never been, down on myself, but I haven't always loved what I saw. I knew that there was the awesome person that is me inside, but sometimes it just came in a bigger package with a lot more problems. But now I am not afraid to stand in front of the mirror and go like that and check out my backside or look at what is happening in my body. And it makes me feel really good. I love the life that I'm living. I look forward to, getting out for a run or going on a hike, because my knees are starting to not think the running's such a great idea anymore. So we're switching it up to hiking a little more. I climbed a mountain last weekend. That was something I've never done before. And I feel like there's so much to live for now. And there's so much living to be done when, before it was, God, I hope I outlive this medical problem, where I hope that, it doesn't get worse. I don't live in fear of it anymore. And it feels really good to be able to do the things that I wanted to do. I remember when my kids were small, we went sledding at this town in Michigan that Frankenmuth. It's like Christmas every day in this town. And we went sledding there. Well, it was around Christmas, but we go there and my kids went down the hill and my younger son flew off the sled and rolled and cut himself and stuff. And it took me forever to get myself down the hill to get to him. And I felt horrible about that. I was like, I can't even run to help my child. Oh my gosh. And now I've ran 2 half marathons in my life, and I've never been a runner. I always told my kids, if I'm running, run with me, because there's something really bad wherever I'm running from, and it wants to eat you. So run, if you see me running, run with me, because there's velociraptors or a grizzly bear or something like that back there. And I feel like, I love sharing this story with people, not because I want to say, look at all these amazing things that I did, but I feel like what has happened with me is a gift. And I would be remiss and incredibly selfish if I did not share that gift. And if it's inspiring to other people, awesome, good. Then, and now people are saying to me what I said to Jennifer in 2013, I want what you have. Now people are saying that to me. And that feels really good too. And I don't know that I'll ever be the stunning beauty that Jennifer is, but because she got to twirl batons when we were in elementary school and I did not. But
I shared my baton.
But now people say that to me, and that feels really good. And I'm so glad that opportunities like this exist. I'm so glad that I reached out to Jennifer and tried her crazy shakes, and that they were effective and that they weren't disgusting. The only thing I don't like about the Shaklee shakes is when I put spinach in them and they turn green. That kind of grosses me out. But I figured a workaround for that. When you buy your blender bottle, buy one that's dark, because then you can't see the green. And so I just don't look at it.
Good
But
solution,
I'm just really
because I don't
grateful.
like the green either.
Yeah, it's just bleh. It's not. I want it to look like a chocolate milkshake, because my kryptonite is absolutely ice cream. And the thing that I enjoy too is Jennifer never said to me, you can't have ice cream. She just said, you need to learn to choose what you eat and what you put in your body, and you make those decisions. And I still eat ice cream. I don't eat it as often, partly because there's sometimes when I eat it and I'm like, oh my God, this just doesn't, it kills me that ice cream doesn't make me feel the way that it used to, but that happens. But I'm just really grateful. I hope that my story touches you, or at least made you think about somebody else that it might help. And I'm just really grateful. So I'm glad I was able to take the me that from before and the me now and put it together and make this me. So thanks everybody for listening, and I will give it back to Joanne.
All right, well, thank you. I think you have a great sense of humor, a great storyteller. And as I mentioned to you, my dad died at 55 from obesity. He was in the 400-pound range. He was a 6'2" man, and he died at 55. So that story is dear to my heart. We might have a few questions. You mentioned the Prove It Challenge. That's a kit. Jennifer, maybe you can explain a little bit about the Prove It Challenge, would you, for a minute, for the new people that are here?
Sure. This Jennifer? Yeah.
Yes.
So we have our 30-day Prove It Challenge. And so it consists of the first 7 days. It's a kit. And so the first 7 days you're eating, it's basically a fruits and veggies challenge. We say cleanse, but it's really a fruits and veggie challenge. And it's about eating clean. It's about giving your body a break from the processed foods so that the liver can catch up with detoxification. And it's a week of not being deprived, because there are so many great choices. You are not supposed to go hungry at all during these 30 days. What the first 7 days of the Prove It Challenge is about resetting your body, stabilizing your blood sugar, getting you feeling energized, redefining your palate. Like Jennifer said, ice cream doesn't make her feel the way it used to. That means I did my job. You're welcome, Jen. Because the first 7 days is really meant to cleanse your palate, or not cleanse your palate, detox your body, and kind of redefine what tastes good and what doesn't taste good. And then from day 8 to day 30, it's one live shake a day that we start every day with a protein, and a plant-based protein. And we know that when you start your day with protein, you're less likely to crave carbohydrates and sugars later in the day. So that's what day 8 through 30 is. And then we have customized supplements that go with, and you can even take a questionnaire and get a customized set of supplements based on your needs and your unique health history to help you. So when Jennifer did it, it was a more generic and still effective program. Now you can take a health assessment called Neology and get it even more customized. But the end result is, with the 30-day challenge and with just having a Shaklee Life Shake a day, is that you're starting your day off right with protein to minimize sugar cravings and to help you balance your blood sugar, because weight loss is largely a blood sugar balancing event. We just don't talk about it that way because the products just do that. It's not hard to do, even coming from, I mean, people look at me and they're like, oh yeah, you were always healthy. You were always athletic. Don't tell me that stuff. You know, I don't believe you. My nickname was Junk Food Jenny. I was a sugar addict until I met came across Shaklee. If I can do it, you can do it. And you do it in baby steps. You know, what Jennifer didn't tell you, she messed up.
Right there, do it in baby steps. Because there may be some people, when you hear spinach in a shake, that doesn't sound very appetizing. But, you know.
I also put coffee in them.
Yeah. But Jennifer Cancio has the best recipes, and you can make delightful, delicious shakes that taste like better than ice cream.
I think they do.
You know, I mean, and they're not and they're just a fabulous way to start your day. And some people who, you know, Jen, you had such incredible drive for because you could die from what you were having. Not everybody gets put to that precipice, you know, where you may just feel sluggish, you may feel 20 pounds overweight, or however, you just may want to have more energy. And the cleanse itself is only a week, and you can alter it depending upon your personality. And you know, that's the non-health coach talking. You know, someone how she does it is to adjust it to her personality and style enough not to feel depraved. That's me. So, you know, those are important things for, I know, Angel, I don't think you and John are using the shake yet. No, and I think it might be a good addition for you to look into. We can talk about it another time, and any of you on the call can talk about it to whomever invited you to this call tonight, because there are answers, and we handhold, right, Jennifer? I mean, we handhold to help people feel better and have more energy. And I could point to a number of, almost everyone on this call here that I know have a health story and health results from our product. I see Priscilla, who's a friend of Jennifer's, can spout about what results she's gotten. And there's many of you, others of you, that have your stories of why you take Shaklee every day. Because we feel better and we get better. And
I'd like to add something too. You know, getting healthy is not an event, it's a process. It takes some time, as you know, Jennifer will attest to. She messed up a few times. I'm like, don't beat yourself up. You're only human. Just get back on. Get back to the Life Shake. It's a process. And when in my healing crisis, and I'm happy to share it on another talk, it took me a good 6 to 8 months to get from A to B in a decent place from B. And from there, it just got better and better. And you can do a cleanse. I have clients that do a cleanse every, like quarterly, because each time it gets a little easier and a little easier and a little easier. And they get healthier and healthier, and they see their blood work change, and they're inspired to do it again. But getting healthy, ultimately, it's a bunch of little baby steps, and being kind and loving and forgiving of yourself.
It also gets easier the longer you do it.
Yeah.
It becomes a habit, which is,
becomes a habit.
They all become habits once you make the change. And I'm happy to say that my children do the cleanse. And they said, Mom, after the COVID vaccine, you better start your cleanse. And so I said, okay.
It was sure easy during quarantine, you know, or when we were all stuck in our houses, to eat well. I said to Jennifer, You just don't put the bad stuff in the house,
That's right.
and you can't go out and get it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of miss that lack of options.
And I was a yoga teacher when I started Shaklee. I had studied to be a special education teacher, and I was at the optimum health in my 20s when I found Shaklee. And I have a saying, you don't have to feel bad to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I switched to Shaklee Nutrition, even though I was buying all my groceries from the health food store, when I switched brands, I noticed an improvement. I noticed a whole difference in my energy level and balance. So I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to see all your smiling faces, and good luck to whatever journey you decide to take, and stay well.